Right then, so what we've got here is a Langstroth frame without the foundation in. And what you normally do is put the foundation in here. I've had to plane a piece of wood off here. See that? There's actually a piece of wood stuck to that, and then the other piece screws on here, or nails on I should say. So I've had to plane it flat because I want to put a national frame inside this Langstroth frame and fix it through the pre-drilled holes and some screws. Now there should be an inch or so either side of that. The only thing that might give me a problem is these. I might have to saw a bit off, which is going to be an issue when it's full of bees, because you don't know where these are made from China. It's supposed to be 17 inches from there to there, and it's about 1/8 of an inch short of 17. And I do believe the national frames from there to there are 17 inches, whereas this Langstroth's 19. So anyway, I'll overcome the problem, and this is what you've basically got to do if you want to transfer national frames full of bees and brood into a box that's Langstroth in size. You've got to fix the frame to the national frame to the Langstroth. As you'll see, I put dates on them as well, so I know how old the frames are. That'll just come out, that comes off. It's just there to support the two sides at the minute. But yeah, you will find that I'll try and show you one anyway. Try and show you one what they look like. So that's the plan of action. I'm going to go up there now and try. I've only got one national, and I don't want to be swapping. I don't want to be buying national frames and boxes and then Langstroth frames and boxes. I just want to stick to the Langstroth. So yeah, let's hope it all goes well. And even if there's an inch gap there, they'll just build cone in between that. But you've got to fix it. So I've seen it, one guy where he puts the frame in, he just puts pull ties around there, which is more than adequate. But you know, if those pull ties go, your frame's going to drop down, isn't it? So yeah, I'll try and video it. Okay, so here's what I was talking about. I bought the Langstroth frames that you make up, because I bought 50 frames with foundation, and it just comes in a box like this, and then a box of foundation. And to be fair, they are quite good quality timber. And what I'm talking about is, that's how it comes, like that, with that piece of timber there. And then obviously you get another piece of timber like that, which goes on there, and then your foundation goes in between, and your side bits go on there like so. And then you got your bottom runs, which you don't need obviously. But yeah, so when you take this out and you make it up yourself, you got to get your electric plane and take that off, take that piece off there. Otherwise, when you put your national frame in, it'll go below the bottom of that. The national will come down a bit, which you don't want really. So just saw that off, or electric plane it off, simple as that. And here's where I got the frames from. But I've just ordered some plastic super frames, unwaxed, and I've got some beeswax from my last harvest, so I'll just melt that down and put a bit of beeswax on the plastic frames. I'm going to try them, to be fair, because I've just ordered some, and 10 supers, Langstroth supers, they're only 25 quid for 10 of them. If you buy these pre-made up, they're about 40 quid. So yeah, it's a way for. I'll let you know on the plastic frame, see what they're like anyway. Right then, so I'm up the allotment. That's the national box. I want to put it in the Langstroth. So obviously I've got to get, hopefully, I think there's only 3 frames. Put them into those there, and then put them into that nuke there. But we'll open it up now and see what's going on. Right then, boys and girls, welcome back to the channel, Honey for My Honey. Purpose of this video is to show you how I convert a national beehive frame into a Langstroth beehive frame. First of all, I'm not a big fan of national beehives and the frames because they are a lot smaller than Langstroth. The only reason I've got this Langstroth nuke with the frames to match is because I had 5 swarms and this was the only box I had available to catch the swarming. So to save me buying a national frame and a national beehive at a later point, I want to get rid of this national nuke and convert the frames into Langstroth. It's quite easily done. Just get a Langstroth frame I was showing you at the beginning of the video, and leave the bottom off, leave the foundation off, as you can see there, and you've got to basically screw, and I actually put some PVA wood glue on the top of that national frame when I screwed it to the Langstroth. So what we're doing here, as you can see, there's a multitude of tools and equipment to accomplish this task. And as described at the beginning of the video, I need a 17-inch national frame to fit in that gap. Unfortunately, the Langstroth frame is about 1/8 of an inch too short, so I've had to bring me jigsaw and me PVA glue and cut about 1/8 of an inch off the national frame, off what just one side of the lugs that sit on the rests in the hive or in the nuke. Right, so what am I doing here? Unfortunately, I don't know what's going on with this hive. It's got a queen in there, but they've been in there 2 or 3 weeks now, and there's no sign of any eggs being laid, and there's no cat brood or anything. So I'm not 100% sure what's going on. There's not a massive amount of bees in there, although there was when I caught the swarm, if you watch one of the earlier videos, where it's got the thumbnail of the blue national nuke. There was quite a lot of bees there. Whether they decided to come back to my back garden is anyone's guess. I mean, this must be about nearly a mile away, this allotment. So here I am with the national frames, checking, see if I can see the queen. And without editing this video, you're going to see me drop the bloody frame into the nuke. So what I'm doing here, yeah, dropped it in. Luckily, I do believe I didn't kill any bees there. I don't think any bees were hurt in the making of this video. And I didn't spot the queen on that frame when I dropped it. So here I am, just cutting about 1/8 of an inch off one of them lugs at the end. Bees don't normally like that vibration, but it was over within a couple of seconds, so I think they tolerated it. And these are all really calm bees. As you'll notice, I'm not using any smoke at all. As long as you're careful and don't drop the frames and stuff like that, they normally tolerate your presence. So I've cut 1/8 of an inch off the national lug, which is basically just one of them wooden bits at the end. Oh, I can't remember what I'm doing here. I put it back in there for a reason. Oh yeah, I put it back in there because I forgot to put the PVA glue, because I want to screw it to the Langstroth frame, but I also want to make sure it's well secure, because I don't want that national frame dropping off the Langstroth frame at a later point. That's a permanent thing from now. So I've got two measures of security for that not to happen. So I've got the PVA glue on top of the frame, putting the Langstroth over the top, fits dead snug. So it's quite easy to do this, guys. So this is how it's got to be done. And then I've pre-drilled the holes in top of the Langstroth frame, put some brass screws through there so they're just pointing through a fraction, and I do believe I'm going to screw it on now. I was a bit pissed with myself that I dropped the frame there. So one thing I'm going to say to you guys is start keeping bees is that you can see there it looks brilliant. Brilliant idea, that is. Found that on Google. What you got to bear in mind is to keep bees, just bear in mind that they could swarm. And if they swarm, you've got to have nukes ready. Right? And you got to think to yourself, okay, I could have one beehive in the back garden and it swarms 2 or 3 times. Even if you've got nukes with frames in to back you up, right? Your back garden, if it's only a small toast house like mine, you are going to have tens of thousands of bees flying around in the air in the back garden, and they've only got to sting your neighbours once and they'll start bitching about it and start giving you a problem, even if you give them a litre of honey. So if you're going to start keeping bees, try and find your local council or somebody who's dealing with allotments in your area, because it is absolute godsend if you can get your hands on an allotment, grow some of your own veggies and keep like dozens of beehives on your allotment. You couldn't ask for no more. Allotments are cheap. I think this guy charges 15 quid a year to have an allotment, and as long as you maintain it, you're laughing. And they're quite happy if you put bees on, because it's not livestock, is it? It's it's an insect. So there you go, and there it is in all its glory. National inside Langstroth frame. So yeah, before we start keeping bees, see if you can get your hands on an allotment, or at least get your name down for an allotment. It's a way forward, guys. Massive piece of land, keep shed loads of beehives on it, and you're not going to get no noise from your neighbours in your back garden. So anyway, back to the topic in hand. Yeah, obviously don't want this national nuke, and I don't want to start buying a national beehive and more national frames when all my kit is Langstroth. So just stick to one. And here I am, just doing the second one, I do believe. I've still not seen the queen at this point, which is quite surprising because they've only built on 2 frames and started on the 3rd. So I'm a bit concerned I haven't seen the queen at this point. And I will add a little spoiler, she's gone inside the box and off the frames. There you go. Not doing too bad. What I might do, to be fair, is take a frame of brood out of that Anel beehive on my left there and put a frame of brood with bees on it in that Langstroth nuke, which I'm transferring them into. Why she's not laying eggs is like beyond me at this point, but she's still there. So I'm just cutting the 1/8 of an inch off the second frame. This just had to be done. I can't afford, with the price of beehives and frames especially, they're outrageous price. I can't afford to be messing around with 2 different size frames and beehives. And I can assure you, I did not expect to be having 8 beehives at this point. I was quite happy with the 3 that were in my back garden. I just didn't need all these at all. And here I am, gently brushing the bees off. I don't like the idea of being rough and ready and killing bees just to accomplish something. So I am quite careful if I can be. Just doing the second frame here now. So they're only on 2 frames. I do believe they need a bit of a boost, to be honest. Otherwise I'll end up not making it through winter. But this way of converting a national into a Langstroth is, well, to be honest, it's just second to none. It's a brilliant idea. I didn't even know you could do it till I started researching it. I was trying to figure out how the hell I'm going to change national frames to Langstroth. How was I going to do that? And this is how you do it. But them national frames, once they're screwed in to the Langstroth one, it's not going anywhere. It's got some PVA glue on there, 3 brass screws going all the way through, and they'll start building cone at the side of the national, in between the national and the Langstroth. That little gap down there, it's about 1 inch, I think. So if you want to convert over from national to Langstroth, this is the way to do it. Because I think Langstroth is 19 inches from one end to the other, and national is 17. But that national nuke did serve its purpose. I had somewhere to put a swarm of bees, and if I hadn't got it, I would have been a bit stuck. I'd have had to let them fly off and do their own thing. And I will point out, it's completely unnecessary to be going to places like Black Mountain Honey, where I bought a nuke from, and spending 350 quid. You're better off just buying off somebody who's advertising bees for sale for like 250 quid, 300 quid, whatever. You're better off buying them from somebody local. I mean, if you find out they're a little bit aggressive, which is a bit rare to be fair, you can always buy an F1 buckfast queen and change the queen, can't you? So there they are in the Langstroth nuke. There's 4 of them. This one started building a bit of cone on, but I'm not going to bother with that, so I just shook all the bees off, and they just started building a bit of cone, that was all, so it's pointless putting that one in. To be fair, if I'd have realised at the time, I wouldn't have bought all them white nukes. Although they're okay, they were about 62 quid and about 20 quid for the frames, which is about £82. You're better off that blue Anel beehive on your left there. You can buy the base, a 10 frame brood box and a lid for near enough the same price. So instead of buying the nukes, which hold 6 frames, you'd be better off buying what I just said on that Anel and add the supers at a later date if you don't sell them, which is the route I'm going to go down. And them Anel beehives, they're not bad, to be fair. Here I am trying to put, excuse me, whatever remnants of bees are in that nuke into the Langstroth one. You'll see me just pull that bit of plastic out with some fondant on it, which you drip down, basically because that nuke's got a vented bottom. Not a big fan of vented bottoms and vented tops. I don't see the point of having them, because come to winter, your bees are going to be cold, so it don't seem like it's a good idea to me. They can maintain the temperature in the hive themselves through the front entrance, so why bother having vents everywhere? We'll point out at this point I still did not see the queen, which was slightly concerning. But last time I went in that nuke, I didn't see the queen, but she was there the time I went after and checked. So I didn't see her 1 week, went back the next week, checked it again, and I seen her, so it's quite easy to miss the queen. So I'm just rolling up a bit of fondant that was on that bit of plastic that was covering the bottom vent. I've just lobbed that bit of fondant in the corner for them to munch on. Also, I don't think you need to be like going inside beehives every 5 minutes, to be fair, and checking them, because all you're doing is setting them back by damaging stuff inside the hive. And I once heard somebody talking about beekeepers saying the beekeeper is the bee's worst enemy, because all you do is keep disturbing them. Well, I can't see what I'm doing there. What am I doing? Oh yeah, just tidying up a bit now, I think. Oh, just moving that strap out of the way so I can put the Langstroth nuke on the bricks, putting in the frames now. 6 frame nuke. But I'd probably just buy, in the future now I know, I'd buy that Anel plastic insulated brood box base. But the base comes vented as well, because it's from Greece or somewhere. It's got bloody vents everywhere on it, which is okay in the summer, but come winter it's an issue. So the base to that Anel It's got a vented base, and I just had to get some clear plastic, 2 or 3 mil clear plastic sheet, and I screwed it on over the vent, so come winter it's not going to be a problem. Sticking the frames in now. One thing I might do, I noticed, I can't remember the name of the guy who I got the NL beehive from. I might buy some plastic super frames for it. I've got some beeswax from me honey harvest. I'll just melt that down, tip it over the plastic frames. It's quite reasonable. If I'm not mistaken, 10 super frames, plastic super frames, they're only like 25 quid if you buy 10. I thought I might as well do that, to be fair. So yeah, just putting the frames in now. What I'm doing here is just checking that beeswax foundation is sitting central to the side of the frame. Because if you're not careful, you put them in, and the foundation's more over one side than it is the other. So I'm just checking that now before I put them in. I am quite surprised that I've had these nukes advertised for 250 quid, and I've not even had one phone call. Not one phone call, not one message or Facebook or Gumtree. I'm quite surprised at that, to be honest. But hey, if nobody buys them, what can you do? I've still got to look after them, haven't I? And they will give me honey at the end of the day. And because I've got them on an allotment, this allotment is not my allotment. The chairman of the allotments has kindly gave me permission to store beehives on there, which will benefit everybody, obviously. I was just so lucky for that. It was unbelievable. I would have been in the shit basically now with 8 beehives in the back garden, and that would have given me a problem. So what's happening here is because the scent, the pheromone of the queen is still in that blue nuke. I keep getting bees flying into that nuke, even though it's not in the same position. So I'm just trying to get the remnants of the bees in there. Bear in mind, I've not seen the queen. I mean, what you've got to do is get all the bees out of it and then move the nuke well out of the way, which I'm doing now, I do believe. And you're going to find something really, really shocking in a minute. So I've got the nuke on there, the frame's all in there, I'm moving the old nuke out of the way. Here we go, look. You ready for it? The queen was sitting on the outside of the entrance on that nuke. I only just spotted her by pure luck. So she's actually gone down into the hive now. I couldn't believe it. She come off the frames, gone in the box, and then gone out the entrance and was hovering on the outside of the nuke. I was so lucky, beyond belief. It was like, whew, couldn't believe it. Honestly, I couldn't believe it. because obviously I wanted to get any bee, literally every bee that kept going to that hive, to that nuke, back in the box. Because some of them might be nurse bees or something, never been out the hive, they'll just perish outside. So I kept going back and forth, making sure every bee was in there. Do you know what I mean? And I hadn't seen the queen, and she was obviously inside the hive, inside the nuke box, I should say, and she was just hovering on the outside, putting the lid on here. Now, there is a big gap in these, I think it's Abello nukes, big gap on that lid, so I actually got some inch insulation board, like foam insulation board with silver on it, each side, and cut its size and pushed it in to the lid as extra insulation, because there was like there's a 2 inch gap from the frame to the top of the inside of the new lid. And I know it's there so you can feed them fondant through the winter, but they're just going to build cone on it. So I'll just put some insulation board in there. And I got that bit of plastic stuff, which I just use as a lid on top to protect the entrance from getting rain dripping in front of it. Just something I picked up from work, so I thought I might as well use it. There it is, secure on the bricks, all nice and level. Bees inside, queen inside, thank God. That was lucky, that was very, very lucky. And then just top it off with a few bricks on the top. Making sure all the bees, there's another bee on there, plonked it on the entrance, because that's the kind of guy I am. So with a bit of luck, I won't be using them nationals now. Yeah, quite disturbing though, really, that there's no brood in there, and they've only built on 2 frames, and they've got fondant in there as well. Oh yeah, there they are. God, I can't believe I've got 8 beehives. I was quite happy with the 3 in my back garden. Honestly, I didn't need all this lot. So bear that in mind, guys. You can have 1 or 2 beehives. And if they start swarming as you go into summer, make sure you got some nukes or beehives ready. Otherwise, you're just going to have to let them swarm and do their own thing, which seems a bit of a waste, really. Yep, there you go. I think them NL beehives are the way forward, insulated plastic hive. And they're not bad, to be fair. I mean, some of the catches. I did leave a review on the website where I bought the NL beehive, saying like, yeah, it seems like a good hive, but needs a bit more attention paid, applied at quality control area wherever they're made, because some of the latches that hold the hive together were not even screwed on straight. But there again, if you pay peanuts, you get monkeys, I suppose, don't you? But even though there's some slight defects on them NL beehives, that it does look like it's a way forward to me. Plastic insulated, catches on it, so it all locks up nice and tight together. The actual base for that hive, it is plastic, and it's solid as rock, that is. quite impressive. Like I say, I did put some plastic sheet to cover the vent up at the bottom, vented bottom baseboard. Covered that up because that'd be no good in the winter. That one, they'd end up suffering, wouldn't they, the bees? But still the way forward, and the lids and everything can bang on. I think I paid 120 quid, £13 shipping for that hive, one base brood box, queen excluder, plastic crown board, 2 supers and a lid. I think it's well worth the money. You'd be better off buying that without the supers and using that as a nuke, to be honest. And then if you sell them, all they got to do is buy some supers, isn't there? Just putting that national nuke down the side there, out of the way. I've got to buy another one of them NL hives. I think it's about the third white nuke down the line. Well, there you go, they're all inside. Happy as Larry. That turned out quite well, to be honest. It took me about half an hour. And yeah, the queen's in there. So, better off in the Langstroth than now. Now I've not got to change. Better off in the Langstroth. Now I've not got to swap and change and buy Langstroth and national frames and hives and stuff. Just stick to Langstroth. Just stick to Langstroth. Happy days. Well, I hope you enjoyed content of this video. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Check out my other channel, Wallington Filming, the Candleman. Yeah, there's a few channels there if you scroll down, so yeah. See you soon.